Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. JACALYN. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello and welcome, or hopefully it's welcome back to USA Global TV and Radio. Here we are in this beautiful setting. I feel much lighter for some reason now that I'm surrounded by all of this nature and beauty. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and our show today is What's Trending with Kathy Fulton. Let's bring Kathy out and then we'll meet our guests. Hello, Kathy.
Hello again. Hello again.
Nice to see you, Kathy. And we've got another mother-daughter team here today, and we had one of them here last week. This is very exciting. So share a little bit about how you met these wonderful people for people who didn't watch the last show.
Well, so you know, they always say that when something bad happens, always look for the good in it. And so what happened to me is I had money stolen out of my bank account, and my bank was not giving me my money back that had been stolen. And so, anyway, through a friend of a friend, I got connected with Sharon, and she then connected me to Legal Shield. And I know that Sharon and her daughter, Heather, are backstage right now, but I haven't had a chance to tell her the good news that I came home from a very early Tuesday morning meeting and to a FedEx envelope, not knowing what in the heck was in it. And it was a settlement check. Legal Shield had gotten involved. The attorney that was working on my case wrote an excellent letter. And so I'm thrilled, and I can't say enough good things about Legal Shield. So that's how Sharon and I got connected.
Thank you so much, Kathy. And if you would share a little bit about your background as an interior designer and how you help people, that would be fantastic.
Well, I have had my own interior design firm for 22 years. And in that span of time, we have helped a lot of people create spaces that they love to live in. My biggest talking point with everyone is communication, and let's design this space around what you want and what you love, not what I want and what I love, because I'm not going to be living there, number one, and number two, I'm not going to be paying for it. So that's pretty much what we do, and we can work on any interior or exterior space, whether it be redesigning your kitchen or designing a new kitchen, bathrooms, pool areas, basements, you name it. We do it.
And you do it really well. So fantastic.
Thank you.
All right. So let's bring in our guests. As I mentioned, you brought Sharon Lynn Brown here last week with her mom. And now this week, Sharon is here with her daughter. So we're going full circle. We will have had 3 generations, which is absolutely cool. So let us welcome Sharon Lynn Brown and Heather Carlson Johnson. They're a mother-daughter team and have joined together to produce and publish this amazing book and a way to engage children. So let's hear more about that. Hello and welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having us on today. We're so excited to share.
Thank you. We're excited to be here. This is really fun. Heather and I have written a children's book, and we're just so happy with it and so excited. We're getting lots of great feedback, and we're so excited to share it with you today. A Heart of Gold, the Greatest Gift.
Can you hold the book cover up again? It's actually very beautiful.
Absolutely. It has gold foil embellishments. which exaggerates its beauty. It makes it for a great coffee table book, as well as for families to get to connect. And in schools, we say it's for readers, leaders, families, and teachers. It's all about social emotional learning, and the characters in the story instill in the birthday girl, Sam, gifts greater than what she ever thought to wish for, which include positivity, tenacity, unconditional love, a sense of humor, and loyalty. Of course, those are not all of the characteristics that can contribute to a heart of gold, but they're the ones that we've chosen to feature in this book. And some of the responses from the kids that we've shared it with have come up with other characteristics that could contribute to a heart of gold with really creative responses, like forgiveness, creativity,
courage, patience. Yeah, it's really fun to hear them.
So there may be room for a sequel as well.
How exciting. Well, I still have you up on Spotlight. Can you share what was the impetus for you two to come together for this project?
Yes, for sure. So about 20 years ago, I had started a nonprofit called Birthday Blessings, giving birthday presents to children in need who didn't otherwise receive a birthday present. Heather was young then, but old enough to come to my office every day after school and choose the gifts and wrap them. And she just loved doing that so much. And Heather has two brothers. They also helped in that as well. But then over the years, I just kind of was writing little notes or little things. And about, I guess, a year and a half or 2 years ago, Heather said, you know, Mom, we should write a children's book. And I said, oh my gosh, that's a great idea. She was living in San Diego, California. I was living in Leesburg, Virginia. So it was such a wonderful way. I mean, we're super close anyways, but it was a wonderful way to be able to connect over that project. And so we decided to make it a birthday because we were thinking about birthday blessings. We did it with the little girl getting, instead of her animal friends bringing her a gift, a toy, they brought her a value. So it created in her a heart of gold, the greatest gift. We also loved the concept of sitting around the dinner table. We used to do this all the time and discuss and talk about things with the kids. And so we said, wouldn't this be great if parents could read this value and then have a question where the kids could write in the book and color in the book and answer the questions. So we created it that way, and it spans ages. So positivity, the question is, positivity begins with a grateful heart. What are 3 things you're grateful for? Well, a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old and a 12-year-old can all answer that question differently, but they'll answer it. And just getting that connection and the conversation going. So we just decided to put that together, and we're super excited about the way it's turned out. It is like a coffee table book. It's beautiful.
And to come full circle, a portion of the profits are all donated back to Birthday Blessings to empower the kids so that they can all feel celebrated on their special day, because we've found that promotes the confidence within them to really be able to give their gift back into the world too. So I think that the positive ripple effect from this interactive story is traveling farther than we really know.
Yeah, I love the energy and the connection, between the two of you. And you could just tell you're filled with joy and positivity yourselves. Kathy?
Thank you.
Sorry, I had to unmute. Sorry. So this is, I mean, it is a beautiful book. And I mean, I've never written a book, clearly. I know Dr. JACALYN has, she's written many, but how did you guys chart this out? I mean, how do you do that? Well, and I've asked other authors the same question, but what is your process?
So this goes back, it was a seed planted in during the COVID lockdown. You know, when the whole world shut down, we thought, what can we create and what can we give back to families in this time? Because we knew that parents were really looking for modalities to enrich their children. So it all started with, you know, the chicken scratch in the notebook that my mom had to plant the seed of the story. But beyond that, we actually came out with an online series and featured over 20 different authors. And it was like a virtual evergreen story. So the authors would get to read the story that they wrote and share what promoted them to write it, the intention of the message, and share an activity with the listeners and viewers so that they could do that together at home. So this was a way for families to really get to connect during lockdown and have something for their kids to do rather than just plugging into the iPad. And from there, you know, behind the scenes, while we were creating that online series, we were also working on creating the tangible story itself. So we went through self-publishing because there were just so many non-negotiables, and we needed the full creative license to bring this to life. One of the features is that gold foil embellishment, as well as the activity pages and the opportunity to be able to donate to birthday blessings. Because if you go through a publisher, you receive just a small percentage of royalties, whereas we really wanted to make an impact with this story, and have the creative license to grow it larger than what it currently is too.
Right. And we wanted to be able to choose things that are like details. Well, some of the bigger things, we wanted to have control over who the illustrator was. That's really important as an author, especially a children's author. Your illustrator you need to be able to connect on the same wavelength, on the same mental wavelength, because when we were creating the words and the story, we knew what we wanted it to look like, and we needed to find a good illustrator who could make that look like what we wanted. That was not something we would compromise on. And we did. We found the best. And Lucas Nickerson in Portland, Oregon, he did it all in watercolor, and it is absolutely beautiful. So one of the features is a full 2-page fold-out poster inside the book.
So he actually painted all of the illustrations and moving it across the screen so you can get a sense of how large it is. It's a tear-out poster, so families can tear it out and frame it for the kids' playroom or a nursery. I think it makes for a really great interactive part of the book, so I don't have the heart to tear it out of my copy, but readers can do with it what they will. And yes, the illustrator was absolutely one of those non-negotiables. We felt that it just had to be him to bring this story to life, and he exceeded expectations.
It was also important to us to choose the paper because we wanted kids to be able to write in it. And you know how frustrating it is when you pick up a piece of paper and you try to write on it and your ballpoint pen doesn't work because it's fighting with the ink or whatever. So we chose the paper that any medium could go on this paper. It could be pencil, it could be pen, it could be marker, it could be anything. So that was important to us. We also had the award. We wanted the children to be able to earn an award. And so after they complete their activity sheets, they get to earn an award in the back of the book. Yeah, show them that.
So this is the award in the back of the book. It's like a certificate/bookmark all in one. So the child gets to write their name and the date that they completed all of the activities or the way that they showed their heart of gold. Yeah.
This is absolutely beautiful, breathtaking. I mean, you've done such amazing work. If you're interested in putting the illustrator's information so people can contact, that would be great. And the other thing I have as a question, you said you self-published. So did you go the traditional route, which is Amazon, or did you go some other way?
No, we went another way. Amazon can't do this for us because of those different special key features. being able to choose the paper, having the hard cover, having the pocket in the back. We even found some printers that were not able to do that for us. So that was all us. We chose everything as we went. Our layout design guy is in Norway, Travis Peterson. He's amazing. And you just think about it, when you have all the illustrations and now you have the words, you've got to put them on the page together so they go together. And it's not just about, you're choosing the font, you're choosing the size of the font, you're choosing the image, the way they work. And we even have, we should tell them about Carl, the draft. You want to tell them why we got Carl?
Okay. So Carl the Giraffe is our character of positivity, and he sees the silver linings in everything. I'm actually newly married. Oh, and this character is modeled after my new husband because he truly is the most positive person I know. And not many of the characters in the story are really named after anybody, right. But he is somebody special, and he brings his all and joins us at a lot of the different book signings, and even wears a giraffe costume with his star-shaped glasses. This is one of many people's favorite page because how else are you going to make a giraffe tall? It's just another feature that makes the story so interactive. You got to flip it to read this page.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So a lot of those kind of features would not be available printed through Amazon. Yeah.
Yeah, you really have created something very unique and special.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Beautiful.
Thank
I
you.
mean, it really is beautiful. I'm so glad that you opened up the book because I was thinking that the cover is gorgeous, and you can tell you really put a lot of thought. And I always say in the design side that the difference is in the details. And
yes,
I can tell you and I are all of us are pretty much on the same page as far as that is concerned. And I think it's so great that this came out, if I'm understanding you correctly, during COVID, because I know that so many kids, so many children having to all of a sudden do their schoolwork and learn from home, it was just devastating for them on so many levels. Just the socialization, because that's what most kids, I think that's what most, or that's what how I channeled going to school in my mind. It was all about the friends. Forget about what I was learning. And so I think that that is just, that's wonderful that they had something really positive and different to think about other than we're in lockdown. So congratulations.
Thank you so much for that acknowledgement. That was exactly the intention. And now that school is back in session, we have developed a curriculum to go along with the book. So it spans 7 weeks or 7 days, however the teacher would like to modify it. But each of the sessions goes through a characteristic in the book, and the kids are empowered to contribute what their thoughts as well. And that has been very successful in the DC area and is now expanding into North Carolina and nationwide.
Yeah, we're excited. We've had a lot. We originally wrote the book for families around the dinner table, but then families were seeing it saying, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. We love this. Well, some of those people that were seeing it were teachers. And they said, wait a minute, we'd love to have this in our classroom. And one of the big things right now, you talk about COVID and socialization. One of the big things is social emotional learning. They call it SEL. That's a new thing that's come out of after COVID, because you think about that. Teachers now, a lot of what they're doing is just helping kids socialize, and learn that again. When you're, like you said, Kathy, when you're sitting behind a computer doing your classes and you're not sitting next to your friend or having lunch with your friends or on the playground, and you're missing out on all that. So they're liking this book as a social emotional learning and character building. So those two things are really hot items right now within the school system, which is wonderful.
I think it's absolutely incredible that you were able to get this book into the school systems. That's not an easy feat to do. So kudos to you on that. And as you mentioned, you're expanding to other areas as well. That's super fantastic.
Thank you. Well, we're definitely looking for more ideas in that. So any connections would be greatly appreciated.
Absolutely.
We do have some images that I'd love to show. Let me bring them up and you can walk us through what we're looking at. So obviously, ta-da, we know what this is, and it's so beautiful in person. It's amazing. Anything you want to share about any of the other characters on here aside from the giraffe?
Well, I think one that's really fun is that the butterfly wasn't always a butterfly. Actually, the characters on the way to Sam's birthday party, that's the birthday girl, they run into an obstacle. And the way that they solve their obstacle is by exercising their gift of value. So the butterfly, his name is Tommy the Tenacious Butterfly. And when he received his invitation, he was only a caterpillar. So he knew that he wasn't going to be able to get to the birthday party in time with his little legs. And he was so determined to grow to be able to fly to her party in a jiffy. So then he became a butterfly in order to be able to party with his friends. The dog is Luca, Loyalty. You know the giraffe, Carl, Positivity. The monkey is Mabel the monkey, a sense of humor. And she's really fun because she has a mismatched outfit. And she had the perfect outfit picked out for the party, but when it came time to put it on, it didn't have the wow factor she was looking for. So she decided to just have fun with it and go crazy with her outfit, and came to the party in full swing. And last but not least is Sally the Seal, Unconditional Love.
Yeah, each character goes through an adventure to get to the birthday party. And so the book is really meaty, if you will. It takes a long time to read the entire thing, go through all the activities. So what a lot of people are doing is they're focusing on one animal a day or something. Let's read that story. Let's talk about that page and go through that.
It's amazing. There's so much that can be learned as an adult from a children's book. I just found myself totally engaged as you were speaking. It's important work that you're doing. So tell us, how long did it take for this entire journey?
Oh, wow.
I think 2 years to print and receive the copies. And what's so exciting about this is, as many entrepreneurs might be able to relate, I overcame some imposter syndrome while creating this book, because I would tell people, oh, there's this thing that I'm working on. I'm really excited about it. And when the copies came in the mail, we ordered 1,000 copies to start, and they were tangible. It had our names on the book. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm actually an author. So that was really exciting. I think it took 2 years from seed to having the books on the bookshelf.
Yeah, and we've had a lot of fun reading it to children as well. Heather was talking about tenacity and the little butterfly. Well, I was reading it one day and to this group of kids, and this little girl was 11. And the activity page says, if you knew you would not fail, what would you attempt to do? The little girl didn't know what tenacity meant in the beginning, so she learned what it was. And I asked her that question, and she said, I'm going to try out for the role of Sandy in my school play Grease. And I got so excited, and I said, oh my gosh, that's tenacity. So we get to hear these amazing answers from kids as they're listening and participating in the book.
That's so rewarding and just makes your heart sing. And I have to ask Heather, are those butterfly earrings an offshoot of the book?
They are. I love butterflies. We even have a butterfly glow light illuminating us for the Zoom.
So you branched out not just from your book, but also now you have merchandise as well.
Yes, we do.
We do.
In fact, so in every copy of the book, there comes the award is typically the bookmark certification that we showed you before. And then in addition, we've had many kids get excited about a Heart of Gold medallion. And let's see if I can model it for you. So there it is. I'll show it to you close. Like this. And then do you want to show the others?
Mm-hmm. And we also created these cards, these note cards that we just love because we thought, you know what, we would like to create note cards that we could use as thank you cards. So this is one. This is, let's see where I can get it up there. So positivity, Carl the giraffe. On the back of the note card, it talks about Carl. And then inside, it's blank.
Mm-hmm.
So people can use it. And we created a set of 10 of these. So they get 2 of each character. And that's been a popular thing too at different book fairs and, events that we've done. So people are enjoying that as well. Yeah.
Kathy, it's amazing. They've really thought of everything. You've branched out from just a typical book, one book and done, to an entire event, an experience.
Yeah, I love all of the offshoots. You can tell it's really quality, and people will be able to enjoy using it for a long time. Another thing that I love about your book is I love books where animals talk, and it just makes it so much fun. I wish animals really did talk. I often wonder why didn't God give them a voice other than a bark or a snout, But then maybe, he's wiser than we are, at least much wiser than I am. So maybe he was saving us some grief too. I have 2 dogs, so I can only imagine what they're saying or, thinking in their own little ways. So
It's true.
but I love that.
It's true. I feel that they communicate in their own way. I can tell what my dog is saying just by a look.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mine are spoiled rotten. It's, I just get to live in the house. They pretty much rule it.
Nice.
It's pathetic, but it's the truth.
Sharon and Heather, I was wondering, I interview a lot of authors, and people always have their own reasons for writing the book. Maybe it's because they want to share a personal story, or they're educating someone on something, a process or a product. When you started this, what was your objective, and how has it changed over this course of 2 years when those books finally came, you held them in your hand?
I think the initial objective for me was creating something that was positive and enlightening and engaging for parents to do with children, to bring back the engagement and the interaction between parents and their kids, so they could talk about things and ask the kids, what does unconditional love mean? I mean, I know you love your iPhone, but is that really unconditional love? So there are ways for lesson teaching in that, but also a way to connect with your kids and have conversation. We always had the rule at our table that there were no cell phones at the dinner table. And I think a lot of families don't do things like that anymore. And so I think in the beginning, that was one of the models that I was looking at, thinking that would be really great. Also wanting to do something that was interactive for the kids, to just, instead of teaching as a talking head, let them participate and engage. The last section of the book that we didn't tell you about is, okay, all of these 5 characters are great in creating a heart of gold, but they're not everything. What makes your heart unique? What makes your heart of gold unique? And that's where the kids can that's where they kind of come in with, well, I've been told I'm patient, or I'm pretty strong, I'm courageous, So that and that's kind of fluid. So that has happened. I think where you ask where it's changed or where it's gone, I think in the with the school wanting to do it and offer it as a school curriculum or a program within the school, that was never something that I thought would. My mind was just not there. But it's been a beautiful segue.
Yeah.
It's just a larger group of kids, and it's a different adult working with the teacher as opposed to the parents. But then they, our curriculum says each kid has to have a book because you've got to be able to write in it, and then they can take the book home for their home library and do it with their parents as well.
Yeah.
So
it really has expanded to become more than a story. And I think something that really hits home for me as well is that I've done some intensive leadership trainings, and we've both done a lot of personal development. And not saying that there aren't any, but I do feel that personal development often caters to adults. And there's this sense of repatterning. So like you grow and you learn these habits, like survival skills, and then there's this like repatterning, or I've heard like reparenting. And so I thought, well, how cool would it be if like the kids get to be involved with their parents who are also interested in personal development and don't have to do this repatterning as they get older because they're already invested in that frame of mind.
Absolutely. I would have loved it when I was going for my education if someone a leader brought in a book like this, a children's book. Like, let's get down to basics. Let's learn some of the basic things that we've forgotten. And I think that it's the opportunities for you, I think, are endless. It's just a matter of getting someone out there to beat the door, so to speak, and let people know that you have this incredible tool to help not only children, but parents, adults, entrepreneurs as well.
Definitely. I was on a Zoom meeting with a gentleman one time. It was about the Legal Shield, and he said, "Sharon, tell me about your book." And I said, "Okay, well, there's a dog named Luca, and Luca gets invited to the birthday party, and he's so excited he accepts right away. But the next day he gets invited by the big dogs to go bowling, and he's like, oh, I've always wanted to go bowling with the big dogs. I didn't get to do that. What do I do?" He's got to decide now, right? He's got to wrestle with that decision. He decides, I made a commitment to Sam, my best friend, so I'm going to stick and I'm going to go to her party. And he brings with him the gift of loyalty. Well, this gentleman said to me, that just happened to me. And I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "I had a meeting set up and for Friday, and then I got a better offer." And I said, "So what did you do?" And he said, "I went to the better offer." And I said, "Oh my gosh, I think you need our book." And he said, "I think you're right." And we got off the Zoom and he bought our book. So I guess it spans to 60 years old.
Listen, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want you to think I wasn't listening, but I just bought your book too.
Oh, yay. Thank you.
To me, it's almost like it could be something that you could put in a display case because it's so beautiful, but yet it's so functional. And the fact that you have the tear outs and you've got that award, the bookmark at the end, and you can get the earrings. I mean, it's just, I feel like there's a big hug around me.
Aww, that's awesome. Well, so we had,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that we completely self-published. We did all of that and everything. And then we got up to pulling the trigger on printing 1,000 copies. At that point, we met a gentleman named Ken Rochin, who owns Perfect Publishing. And he said, "Wait, I want to partner with you guys. I think I can help expand you and what you're doing." And we said, "Oh, okay, let's do that." So whereas we are self-published completely, we did decide to join with Perfect Publishing as cross-promotional, where we promote his son's books. His little son is 8 years old. And then he promotes our books. But it's been a great partnership with that. But I just wanted to mention that that's something else that we've kind of taken another step that we never saw coming, when we were planning all of this.
That's awesome. Well, one of the things that I kept thinking, or I've continued to think while you've been talking, is just how this gets back to basics, like you keep saying, which I think is great. I mean, some days I wish I could just like pitch my iPhone and just go back to the, rotary phone. I mean, people couldn't find you. So, just let's do it the old fashioned way. But
Mhm.
one question that I have, and uh, dare I ask, I don't have children I don't have children. So clearly I don't have children in the school system, but I hear so much on the news about critical race theory, CRT, and so I'm wondering, I mean, were you met with any opposition relative? I mean, sometimes it seems to me what they'll say on the news and how they're bringing in CRT, it's like I don't even get it. I mean, and so I'm thinking maybe I'm just completely disconnected because I don't have children, but I don't know. Like I said, do I dare even ask?
Right. I mean, we don't have young children either anymore. And um, my heart goes out to the parents that do and have to deal with all of that. But we have not been hit with any negativity about our book at all. Everybody loves it. Everybody that looks at it, that sees it, that opens it up to read it. I mean, I can't think of one negative comment or anything that anyone has said. So it's kind of hard to find fault with, values like loyalty and positivity and tenacity, so. Yeah.
I really feel like it should be part of the HR handbook when you go to get a new job and you're onboarded and they go, okay, here's some basic things we want you to remember no matter what happens in your career here.
I like that.
That's a great idea. Could you imagine the business manager getting to read what the employee writes in the book?
Mm-hmm.
Give them kind of an insight into them. I have a meeting next week with the foster care parent training in the county that I live in, parent trainer. And my thought was, wow, I'm not a foster parent, but if I were, how awesome would it be to sit down with that foster child, because you don't know the baggage, you didn't raise them to where they are now, but to go through this book with them, I mean, it would just open your eyes and your heart to so much about that child who's in your home for a little bit of time or a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But so we're excited about that meeting as well.
Yeah, it's true. Our book is marketed for ages 4 to 12, but to be honest, nobody is ever too old to be reminded of their heart of gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it should be ageless for everyone around the world. Kathy?
Oh, 100%. I just can't wait to hear what you're going to do next with it. I love the idea about the foster programs. I mean, what other avenues have you thought about going down and trying to partner and get your books on, or get your book on board?
Well, the one we have started is the schools, and we're wanting to get that more in the school systems. What are the ones?
So I think larger organizations that cater to families and kids would be a really healthy avenue to approach with this book, including schools, which we have, and we've developed the curriculum, the foster care system, also like Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts have shown some interest, churches, and we have spoken with a school who is Christian based, and they really love the idea of the curriculum, but they're talking about modifying the lesson plan to be able to interweave some of their Christian teachings into it as well, which would be up to the teachers to do so. The curriculum, the whole idea of the curriculum that we've presented is to lessen the workload of the teachers, because we know that they do a lot of their own lesson planning. And so that has been a weight lifted off of their shoulders and provides like a plug and play program for them to introduce to their students.
We also have a children's museum in Heatherstown that is really excited about picking it up and running with it in
Mhm.
It's like an interactive museum. It's really pretty cool, in Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
Mhm.
So we've got that going, and then we also have thoughts to look into like hospitals, things like that. Haven't really gone that route yet, but some people have told us, hey, when children have cancer, when children have different things going on, and they're stuck in a hospital, this would be perfect for them to be able to do the pages and the interactive. Ronald McDonald House charities in the greater DC area, they loved it, and they actually have it listed on their Amazon wish list. So if people want to go and donate to them, they can actually buy our book, and it gets donated to their house, and so the children would be able to have that for an interaction with the parents while they're at Ronald McDonald House.
Congratulations. The number of opportunities I think are just endless. It's just a matter of you're going to need more people. I think that's what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, the team is expanding.
Are you looking for introductions for some of these avenues? So, it's all kind of, it's not what you know the majority of the time, it's who you know. And so a lot of times I will ask people, hey, do you know so and so that could connect me with? So for everybody that's listening, is there a connection that you're looking for that you just have not been able to unravel yet?
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
yes, please.
I would say, for example, any schools in your area, connect us to your school principal, guidance counselor. If you're connected to the county, the big broad county picture, the person who's in charge of guidance and counseling, as well as the person who's in charge of the education program for pre-K through 5, those connections would be fabulous. If anyone has connections to get us into hospitals, things like that, that would be a good lead for us to get the program introduced there, that would be fantastic. What else?
Yeah, just the organizations that we've mentioned before that we're excited about introducing it to. If you know anybody in the leadership roles of those organizations, even PTA moms or the Moms Club of your neighborhood, if any organization that we mentioned struck a bell in your mind, then we would love an introduction to the person, like event coordinators and people like that.
Yeah, and like you guys have said too, HR or team building at businesses. How fun would that be to go on a business retreat? Okay, everybody gets this book. We want to, team up, answer your questions. This would be so much fun. It's kind of like a team building exercises that could be used in leadership and businesses. So that's a whole area we haven't expanded into yet either. But we would love
I share that
connections.
because I spent 28 years selling employee recognition programs and meetings and events to Fortune 500 companies. And it was all about how do you get people engaged and motivated and in alignment. And I could see this as an absolute way of doing that.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I could too, from the standpoint of, when you see a book and then you see animals and animals talking, it would kind of help break down barriers and everybody kind of check their ego at the door. It's positivity. It's an animal explaining positivity. I could see it being very effective too. And just everyone kind of relaxing and maybe bringing down their walls a bit too. So I think that would be very helpful.
It's a good point. Good point. And if it could help, in relationship building and team working as well, that would be great.
And Sharon and Heather, I just wanted to ask you if people are interested in buying your book in bulk quantity. Is that something that you offer as well?
Yes.
It is. We have a really nice discount. When they buy over 100 copies, they get a 20% discount.
We recently had a school purchase 125 copies so that they could gift them to their entire full grade of students.
Yeah,
That's
the kids
20%. And how do we get your earrings?
Oh, these are not from Heart of Gold. I just love butterflies.
Ah, okay. I thought they were the merchandise you're saying, because
No.
I'm totally all in here in supporting you. I love the support.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
But we do have a couple of comments from one of our team members, the lovely Diane Floyd Bain. Congratulations on making a big difference in the world. And also, children's hospitals have a volunteer program, and you could speak to them about your book.
Oh, thank you for
Great
that
idea.
recommendation.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, Diane is an international award-winning author of children's books and young adults. In fact, we should connect you. And
We would love to get to meet you.
Yeah, see there. I love connections, Kathy. You know that. I love collaboration.
Fantastic.
Okay, well, we've actually come to the end of our show, and it's just been fantastic. And I know I can't say enough things about what you're doing, Kathy.
Oh, I think it's wonderful. It's beautiful. It's engaging. It's timeless, and everyone could benefit from it. So I'm thrilled that you all would come on the show and share all this information with us about it. Sometimes people go, wow, 40 minutes. I mean, I think we could probably go another 40 just to talk about all the features and benefits, and, maybe come up with some other ideas as to as how you could take this further down the road. But I'm delighted for you, and I'm thrilled. And if I have any connections for you, I'll definitely pass it along. So, but congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you for inviting us to share. And while my earrings are not for sale through our Heart of Gold website, I do invite you to check out heartofgoldforkids.com, where you can see all of the merchandise that we have beyond the book, as well as email us at team@heartofgoldforkids.com. Just to reach out, share feedback, or an introduction to any of the leaders in those industries that we mentioned before. I will share the email with Dr. JACALYN and Kathy now so that they can get that out to you all.
Yeah, and we just so appreciate you having us on, Kathy and JACALYN. I mean, this is so much fun spending time with you, and it enlightens us and energizes us just to be with you. So thank you for doing that.
You are most welcome,
Well,
and I'd love to have you. Oh, sorry. I'd love to have you on the business show, because again, I think this is a great tool for business owners. I'm going to introduce you to my former employer when I was in corporate with the meetings and events, employee recognition. And I'd love to have you on the children's show. I mean, the corner bookstore with Diane Floyd Bain, where you can read your book to children and their parents.
Oh, fun. That would be wonderful. We'd love that.
Yeah, fantastic. So, Kathy, last words from you.
No, I mean, I can't reiterate enough. Please come back and tell us how it's going. And because I feel like there will be a sequel to this. So we want to be the first to know. So please make sure you come back.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you for inviting us.
Well, congratulations again, and please do come back and see us and let us know how you're doing and read from your book. And my book, I guess, is coming in the next couple of weeks. So I definitely would love to have you on to just have a chat about that as well. And Kathy, thank you so much for bringing them to the platform.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye for now. Kathy, another fabulous guest that you brought here today, and you obviously have a heart of gold yourself, because people love to come and support your work here as well.
Well, it's like I've said time and time again, I just love meeting all of these people. It's like my own little miniature networking thing that I have going on. And I would have never known about Legal Shield. I would have never known about Heart of Gold. So it just keeps going on and on and on. So this has just been a great opportunity. So a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. If you could give your contact information and just remind people about your Talking Heads episode right after this.
Yeah. So if you need any kind of interior or exterior work done, feel free to call me 703-895-3798, or you can email me. I'm at kathyfulton1965@gmail.com. And stay tuned, because right after this, I'm going to be talking about how to create staycations in your backyard. So you won't want to miss it.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you to each and every one of you. Kathy will be right back after this, and I'll just be introducing her and then producing the show. And thank you again to our fabulous guests who are here today. We'll be right back.